Little, and I don't want to misstate it, just a little bit of muscular damage that he can rehab, hopefully, without having to have surgery. And so he's going to be rehabbing over the next couple of weeks, and then we'll reevaluate. But it's pretty typical of a subluxed shoulder.
How did it happen, Coach?
Happened in the D-League game on Wednesday night.
What?
That's what I was told. I have not seen the tape.
Actual play.
He was like going for an outlet pass or something.
Yeah.
And what? It seems that this kid has had just the worst of luck with just kind of real fluky setbacks that aren't long term, but they're enough to kind of slow us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the hamstring and the car accident were unfortunate. And this happens throughout the course of a game, whether it could happen in our practice, in our game, or their game. So it's unfortunate, but hopefully it's not. Hopefully he can rehab it, get it better, and be good to go.
Were you starting to see things out of him in the D-League games?
So I obviously didn't see Wednesday's game, but the thing that we all see when we see James is his just savvy and fluidity, and the game comes pretty easy to him. The next step for James is in my opinion, is getting strong enough and getting as used to the defensive system in the NBA so that he can guard either a 2 or a 3, and whichever comes first, great. But night in, night out in this league, those are hard positions to guard.
But does the further you go during the season this way, I mean, you lose more of the season, obviously. I mean, how does it go?
Yeah, so I think we really need to continue with our plan with him, whether he's on the court or not, of just everyday study. Take in these games, take in the scouting reports, maybe rewatch the games with staff members, and really delve into it a different way. And I think that's the way you have to do it when guys aren't available, especially a 19-year-old that's not available.
Just to be clear, we're talking just a couple weeks of just rehabilitating that before he can get back to practicing?
Correct.
Okay.
That's and then before he's reevaluated is the appropriate way to say it.
Okay.
Can you talk about some of the trials and tribulations maybe you faced as a rookie NBA head coach and what Derek may go through this year?
Well, Derek and I are obviously much different in that he's got so much NBA experience. Obviously, being in the head coaching seat offers a whole new unique set of challenges. Every situation is different and every job is different. But in my brief interaction with him, I think he's a great leader, and I think he's clearly got a great demeanor and way about him. He knows the NBA game a lot better than I do, and he's been a successful player for a long time, and a guy that every stint or every stop that he's been in, people have talked about him as a very heady and cerebral and savvy guy.
Coach, how does this game change without Carmelo and J.R.
Well, I don't know that that's for sure yet.
Well, how would it change?
I got the last email I got was that Anthony's available, so I don't know what that means, but I don't know that it changes our preparation at all, except for the fact that Melo demands certain guys be in the game because they're the only guys that can guard him.
Brad, when you initially put Tyler Zeller in the starting lineup, you said that it could be kind of a moving target with the starting lineup. With Amari not being a typical center in New York, did you give any consideration to possibly changing the lineup at all?
Well, Amari would be as much like a center as anybody on our roster. So, I think Tyler's doing a good job. I did not put any thought into changing it, is the answer to your question.
Avery's only scored 11 points in these last 2 games.
Avery's out. Avery had to go home he was sick today, and just came in, had a fever, and so Ed sent him home. So Avery will not play tonight.
Is that just happened today, or?
He was sick. He got sick all last night, so he didn't come to shoot around. Didn't participate in any of that. Did come in and got checked, and then once he had the fever, obviously for him, and just don't want sickness going around, he's not going to play tonight, unfortunately, because I think he practiced well yesterday.
Who will start in his place tonight?
possibly or probably Evan Turner, but I'm not dead set yet for sure.
Is anybody else out?
No.
With Jeff Green, when you look at the first 6 weeks of the season, what do you attribute his good play to?
I think Jeffson, you know, he had a really good preseason. He had a really good off-season of work, clearly. He has defended at a pretty good rate for us all year. And, you know, I think sometimes it's, you know, just a matter of comfort. And I think he's comfortable in what we're trying to do. And, you know, we're trying to take advantage of his strengths all over the place. You know, sometimes in the post, sometimes on the drive, sometimes on shooting. And, he's doing a lot for us right now. And you know, I think he's clearly improved. And that's good. I mean, that's a really good thing. You know, we want all our guys to be that way, whether they're 19 like James or 28 like Jeff, to just keep getting better.
Jeff, as you talked a little bit about trying to gain a little bit of weight, a little bit more muscle coming into the season, are you seeing some of the effects of maybe being a little bit stronger, being able to fight through things a little bit more and back-to-back?
Jeff's always been, you know, a much better looking athlete than I have been, so I've never really overanalyzed it, to be honest.
His words that he kind of got.
So no, I mean, he's a strong guy. He's a he's got great physical attributes. He's strong. He's long. He's athletic. And so yeah, I mean, adding a little bit of strength makes him even better in those areas.
Brad, if Melo weren't to play and J.R. Smith, what do you say to your guys to make sure that they don't sort of take the Knicks for granted here?
We're not good enough to do that with anybody. I mean, I think our guys know that, and nobody in the NBA. I mean, look around the league. It's not who you're playing. It's how you play on that night. And the guys on the court on the other end are good NBA players, and also guys that have given us fits. So, you know, I'm a big believer that you go out and you play the right way, and you have a chance. And if you don't, you lose. And that's what happens if you don't play the right way. It doesn't matter who you're playing against.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.